My number 2 is going to be the Chiefs. Number 1 in the AFC for a reason. Bye week for a reason. And here you are. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Ready? You want to talk about the most disrespected team being the Bengals? What about the Chiefs? The Chiefs have been the dominant AFC team for a long time. Yes, they lost to the Bengals last year to go to the Super Bowl, but
this year.
Consistent. Yeah, well, hold on. Consistently dominant. How are you going to say the Bengals are the most disrespected team when you've got the Chiefs here sitting at number 5 in your rankings?
Because they're the reigning champions. The Bengals are, not the Chiefs. And the Bengals played the Chiefs this year and won.
Champions. They're the reigning AFC championships one year. How many times have the Chiefs been in the AFC championships?
Joe Burrow
How many Super Bowls did the Chiefs have?
It was Joe Burrow's first year.
Second year.
Oh, he hurt his knee. He was out the whole year.
Second year.
Came back and took his team to the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you right now, more AFCs championships and more Super Bowls than the Bengals. So if you're going to talk about
Tom Brady's got
teams,
more than
you want to talk about disrespected teams, the Chiefs have been the most disrespected team by you, at least by you. In the preseason, you're like, I don't know, the Chiefs may not have it, but I'm still having them winning the division, right? What did I say? The Chiefs have been winning. The Chiefs haven't lost yet. Why would I pick the Broncos or the Chargers or the Raiders to win this division? Why would I pick any AFC team over the Chiefs right now to beat the Chiefs in the AFC? Just because the Bengals are defending AFC championships? I don't care. They just scored 17 points against the Ravens. You're going to tell me that's defending AFC championship worthy right there? Because the Ravens limped into the playoffs without a starting quarterback. So most disrespected, number 2 Chiefs.
As a kid that grew up moving around a lot, one thing was always a thing when you're a young kid is that there's always a bully. And you may be the biggest, there's always the biggest bully. Like the guy that was held back 4 years, there's always like that one that's no doubtedly nobody wants to fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
And that's all cool even if he's been the guy for 7 years. But when some dude comes in on, whatever military orders, some crazy young kid that has traveled around the world and he's way bigger, right? All of a sudden, it doesn't really matter that this kid for the last 7 years was the big guy on campus. And it's not disrespectful to say there's a bigger kid on the campus now. And
but it's not facts.
It is. As of right now.
Literally not.
This is the one argument you literally can't make, because since Joe Burrow has been the starting quarterback for the Bengals after his injury, he's taken his team to the Super Bowl, which included going to Arrowhead and beating the Chiefs. And then he, right then in that moment, was the biggest guy on campus. That's not disrespectful. It's a fact. When Mahomes went home and Joe Burrow had to hop on a flight because he's going to the Super Bowl, that was the moment that he became the bigger guy. That's why the NFL was like, hey, that's a good matchup. Let's do it again in the regular season. They do it again. And guess what? Mahomes goes back to Arrowhead again with a loss, and Joe Burrow won. And now you're like, that's disrespectful to the Chiefs. They've been to the AFC Championship game 4 times. But has he ever beaten Joe Burrow? We have to check that box in order for you to – I could see you saying the Chiefs obviously are good, but how could I be disrespecting a team that's never beaten Joe Burrow? He has to do it once, right? How can he not ever do it?
You want him to beat a guy he's seen once in the playoffs. You were saying one time in the playoffs and the regular season. Okay, regular season for sure. Stakes aren't high in the regular season. You want me to say this is like, I feel like you're talking Burrow, Mahomes, like Brady and Manning right now.
Yes,
they've met once in the playoffs. They've met once in the playoffs. And you're going to tell me right now he's the biggest guy? Bullshit. 1 Super Bowl, 2 AFC championships for Mahomes, 1 AFC championship, 1 Super Bowl loss for Burrow right now. So who's really the biggest guy in the room? Not Burrow, just because he's defending champions and he's beaten Mahomes once in the playoffs. That is nowhere near what you're trying to make this out to be. This isn't this big thing yet. We got to go for the rest of the decade to see how this matchup actually goes. 1-0 is not he can't beat Burrow in the playoffs. No, come on. That's BS. We know that's bullshit, dude. You can't make this into this large thing just because he beats him in the regular season as well. The regular season isn't the playoffs. That's the playoffs is when it matters. Sure, in the future, we're going to be talking about all the times that they've played regular season playoffs. But the biggest guy in the room right now in the AFC is the Chiefs, and you can't convince me otherwise. You really can't.
The stats also back up Joe Burrow too. When you look at the most recent seasons, like if you look at their completion percentage throughout their career, Joe Burrow is 68.2% to Mahomes 66.3%. And
wait,
Mahomes
how much? What is that again?
68.2 Joe Burrow's completion percentage to Mahomes 66.3.
How many more years does Mahomes have on Burrow?
You don't think Joe Burrow is going to continue to get better? You think he's going to digress?
Well, we're talking about stats right now, right? How many more years? How many more completions? How many more touchdowns? How many more playoffs? How many more everything does Mahomes have over Burrow?
That's why I could only use that stat, is because he's been in the league longer. It wouldn't be fair.
Well, you can't bring up any stats in favor of Joe Burrow and be like he's better than Mahomes. Mahomes has been in the league 2 more years, 2 full seasons longer than Burrow.
And it has. So, in your opinion, if Joe Burrow and Mahomes played again, I'm just going off of your philosophy. Joe Burrow could beat Mahomes again in the AFC Championship game, and it doesn't matter to you.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying we have to look at this over a period of time. That's like it's honestly.
But why? We don't do that with sports. Dallas just beat Tampa, and you threw him to 4. We just.
What were we talking about? Tom Brady going into this matchup against the Cowboys. He is undefeated against the Cowboys. Going into this game, you even said it yourself. Oh shit, Tom Brady in the playoffs, undefeated against the Cowboys. I think I took the Cowboys because I thought they were the better team. But that's a storyline. That is over time. You don't go into this game and go, Tom Brady is 1-0 against the Cowboys. Oh shit, that's it. It's over.
But he's not just 1-0. He's 3-0.
With 2 of those being in the regular season, 1-0 being against in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, on the road in Arrowhead. That matters. That you can't
no,
just say it doesn't count. It wasn't in Cincinnati.
But what I'm saying is, you got to give it time, man. You can't just go into this game and be like, Mahomes or Burrow has Mahomes' number. You can't just 3-0. It's 3 games.
It's not just me that thinks that. I feel like collectively a lot of people know that. It's like his kryptonite at this point. Everybody has one, and that's okay.
Sure.
Mahomes beats a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And then when he plays Joe Burrow, it just doesn't. It hasn't happened yet. We haven't seen it. We got to see it at least one time, I think.
I just don't feel like this is a bigger thing than what it is. It's been 3 games, and yes, one of them was an Arrowhead in the AFC Championship. But it's been 3 games. It's been 1 playoff game. Let's get.
He's the only quarterback that has been right here. It says Burrow's the only quarterback drafted since 2017 with a 500 or better record against Mahomes among 17 quarterbacks to face him, fitting the criteria. He's 2-0 at the time of this article and become the first quarterback to beat Mahomes 3 straight times, and then he did. So
all facts.
It's
all
not.
Facts.
Joe Burrow also is in different territory as the other guys in the league too. Like he's doing things that other guys haven't done, and the fact that they weren't even on the list of favorites to go to the Super Bowl. They were like the 8th team. They were like with Tampa Bay, and I don't know. The Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs were disrespecting us. They were still right now, like the odds are they're like the 2nd favorite team to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just feel like it's we don't crown the Bengals yet. They've had one good postseason. The Chiefs have had 4 of them.
I will adjust it when appropriate. That's how I feel about it.
So look, the facts are the facts. You're right. The facts are the facts. Joe Burrow 3-0 versus Mahomes, 1-0 in the playoffs when it mattered. But the Chiefs right now are not the smaller guy, dude. They are what the Bengals want to be in the next 3 years, right? They want to be
Yeah.
going to the AFC Championship. They want to host it. They want to win a Super Bowl. I just feel like with Joe Burrow, this whole like he's 3-0. I just feel like it's we're negating everything Patrick Mahomes did pre-Joe Burrow. You know, it's like the BC and the AD, like before Christ, and the AD is like as everything that Mahomes did BJ before Joe, like you know what I mean? So like, do we not really look at that, or is it like after Joe, AJ is when we count it? You know what I mean? I just don't like that we're negating that, and I'm not saying you are. I just feel like that's the overall thought.
If the Chiefs get an opportunity to play the Bengals and win, I'll take a step towards you. But if it's hard to beat people twice in a row, and then he did it 3 times in a row. 4 times in a row is like we could agree if the Bengals beat the Chiefs in an AFC Championship game that there's like a legitimate pattern there.
In the playoffs, 2-0, I guess we can take. I will take a step forward to your side. How about we do that? How about we do that? We take a step forward.
Joe Burrow's first 2 years starting a full season, and he goes to 2 straight Super Bowls. That's what Mahomes did until Joe Burrow got there at that point. Right.
And now we're able to say that. We're able to say that now, right? Like after 4 years, like 4 AFC championships, a Super Bowl loss, but 2 Super Bowl appearances, right?
So you think it is kind of like a fluke a little bit? Because I'm like, why wouldn't that happen? They're the reigning champions. Why would I not take the Bengals to go back?
I'm not saying it's a fluke. I'm saying he's had 1 full year as a starter, 1 full playoff. This isn't a fluke, man, but it's been 1 year. He's in the playoffs now, and he's looking really good. It's not a fluke. I'm just saying, give it some time.
I get that. You're like, pay your respect where it's due. Pay your respect where it's due.
That's right.
And I'm like, there's a new sheriff in town.